We live in the best country in the world. You can go out there and the opportunity is plentiful. This is Hard Parking, brought to you by Right Honda and Right Toyota out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm your host, Jhae Pfenning, recording from my studio here in Gilbert, Arizona. It is 4th of July weekend coming up. Of course, as we know, these episodes now drop on Fridays. So this weekend is 4th of July. So hopefully everybody out there has fun. If you are a patriotic person, great. If not, I feel bad for you. I want to talk about this Gallup poll that was taken around mid-2025, and it was reported everywhere in 2026 ahead of the 250th anniversary. This poll found that U.S. national pride hit a record low overall. Now, I don't know if I should get into the party affiliations because then it becomes political, and I don't really want things to be political, although sometimes we end up there. But according to this poll, only 58% of Americans said that they were extremely or very proud to be an American, down significantly with the very proud share, just at 17%. Think about that. We don't live in a perfect country, but go out there and try to live somewhere else. It is your constitutional right to complain about your everyday life. If you're getting free handouts and you no longer get them, that's not an excuse to no longer love this country or enjoy this country. We live in the best country in the world. You can go out there and the opportunity is plentiful. It may not always go your way, but you have those freedoms. You can complain on social media. Hell, you can get out there and get in someone's face and talk all sorts of crap to them without really any penalty, as long as you don't touch them or assault them in any way. Not a lot of places on this earth you can do that. So think about that the next time you decide, because of something temporary like the current administration or the previous administration or the next administration. This is a great country. Interest rates suck. Gas prices go up and down. Doesn't make the country a bad place. And you should be very proud to live here. And I can guarantee you a lot of the immigrants, both legal and undocumented, that come here would disagree. They love this country for the most part. And it's a little hard sometimes. It's hard for anybody, but it's still the best country in the world. And I need you to spend this holiday weekend with your family and your friends and just have a good time. Maybe you go watch fireworks, maybe you don't. But I think as Americans, we take way too much stuff for granted. You want to see something that's crazy? I don't know if you've spent any time on social media, but go out there and some of these videos are fake, by the way, but go out there and look at all the World Cup videos that came out in the last couple of weeks of people coming in from other countries to watch the World Cup games, and they are just losing their minds over everything that we have here in this country. They love the country. They love the people. They were told this country is a complete train wreck. And while some of us Americans feel like it is, it really isn't. All the food, all the partying, all the fun, they love this country. You know why? Because where they come from, a lot of times, is that oppressed. If you think you're oppressed as an American citizen, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I was listening back to my episode with my dear friend Dwayne, and he had mentioned about police and being worried about police. And he said, you know, one thing, and I missed it in real time, but he said, when you go to another country, you can probably let your guard down. And I thought, I heard that and I was like, wait a minute. No, you can't. You think we have a problem with racism in this country? This isn't nothing compared to a lot of other countries. If you're worried about the police in this country, you have a lot more to worry about when you go to other countries. And so that's another one of those very American things. It blows my mind. Coming up on today's show, my friend Edgar Millan is in studio. He helps me run OneAuto. He's basically my right-hand man. He also does a lot of really cool things to make his money, and we're going to learn about those things today. And also, how can you do what he does for a living with the freedoms that he has for a living? And we also talk about what 4th of July means to us and our families. Edgar is a Colombian immigrant, so find out what his perspective is on all this stuff. And this isn't stuff we normally talk about, but I love having those conversations with my friends. But before we get to that, let's have some fun with some headlines. A Batman, a Mexican Batman. I think some of you may have seen that, but there's seems to be a guy, but it's probably more likely a group of people going around, and they are taping motorcycle thieves up to light posts. says right here, over a 10-day period starting on June 13th of 2026, at least 5 men were found bound to lampposts or street poles using industrial strength duct tape. In each case, the victims were reportedly immobilized, some with mustaches and cat whiskers drawn on their faces, and the Spanish word ratero, which means thief, written across their foreheads. Many had visible injuries, including bruises and blood, and in some cases their mouths were taped. Stolen motorcycles were left nearby, sometimes with pink warning signs detailing the alleged crimes. So if you've seen that story on social media, it is not a satirical fake story. Now, I don't think anyone's witnessed someone running around in a Batman suit, but that is still funny nonetheless. Also, the other day, a lot of people were going crazy in the car world. There was a video of our current president, Donald Trump, signing a right to fix your own vehicles thing, and that also seemed like it was satirical. I looked it up, and what does that actually mean? It's a presidential memorandum, not full executive order, signed by President Trump on June 29th, aimed at expanding Americans' freedom to fix their own vehicles, particularly by easing EPA regulations around emissions, repairs, and aftermarket parts. So the key details: lowering the cost of living by promoting freedom to fix. It's a directive to the EPA, specifically Administrator Lee Zeldin, not binding laws with the full force of executive order. It builds on similar earlier actions for farm equipment and non-road machinery. Clarifies self-repairs on emission systems. The EPA must use guidelines within 30 days on what individuals can legally do to repair or have repaired their own vehicles' emissions components. Consistent with the Clean Air Act, this addresses concerns that some routine fixes could be seen as tampering. Number 2, eases aftermarket part certifications. It directs the EPA to promote and speed up alternative certification paths for third-party aftermarket parts, including heavy reliance on California's CARBs processes. You know, everything you buy says this, except for California. This aims to increase options and lower costs. And the third note is it deprioritizes enforcements against good faith repairs. The EPA should consider not pursuing civil actions against people who try to fix their vehicles back to original configuration in good faith. So that's what all that means. It was a fun thing to pass around social media, but that is what that actually means. Guys, it's crazy what you could find out if you just do a little bit of research. A quick blurb in sports: LeBron James has decided not to re-sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. This guy is going into his 24th year in the NBA, so let the LeBron James sweepstakes begin. Of course, you know Jordan is my GOAT, but LeBron James is doing something I don't think anybody will ever do again. Basically become the man from age 18 until whenever he decides to quit. Regardless of what you think about him, that in itself is an amazing feat. And finally, I went over to Jorge Aquino's house along with Devontae Mack, and we recorded an episode of Tormenting Tarmac, which should be coming out in the next few weeks on Jorge's platform. But while that in itself is not big news, on my way back, I drove past Buc-ee's. So toward the end of June, a Buc-ee's opened up over on the other side of Phoenix in Goodyear, actually, and people are camping outside before it opened up, and people on social media were going there and taking pictures, some people in the car community. The big question is, when is the first car meet at Buc-ee's? Probably never, because that place is so damn busy. I was driving back and I looked over and I said, oh my God, that place is huge. This was about 10:30 on a Friday, parking lot packed. I think we have 99 to 100 pumps at this location, possibly more. I think the average is 120 at Buc-ee's. But there were people still in line, and I said, no way. Because my thought is the next time we go to California, we would probably go that direction out of the city, and we would probably just stop at Buc-ee's. But I don't know, man. That place is a freaking circus. But it's a circus for a reason. Coming up after this word from Arcus Foundry Sparkforge, Edgar Millan. If you run a business and you're tired of juggling tools, chasing logins, and constantly feeling like the tech side of things is heavier than it should be, this might hit close to home. That tech fatigue usually shows up as an outdated website, reviews slipping through the cracks, missed calls when you're busy, or social media that's always on the back burner. Most business owners know something's off, but fixing it feels like a bigger project than they have time for. SparkForge exists to take that weight off. It handles the tech behind the scenes, helps clean up how your business shows up online, makes sure calls and messages don't get mixed, keeps reviews from slipping through the cracks, and wrangles social marketing so you don't disappear for weeks. If you're curious, there's a short discovery session, and it comes with 90 days free to actually see if it makes things easier. No pitch, no pressure, just a real conversation about what's working, what's broken, and what you can simplify. So head over to getsparkforge.ai/hard parking to get started. Edgar Millan, welcome back to Hard Parking. The last time I think you were on the show, it was you and your wife, Monique, doing the Arizona Adventure.
It's been a minute. Mm-hmm.
But it's 4th of July this weekend, basically tomorrow, since these come out on Fridays. Just wanted to get you over here because we just did a OneAuto cruise.
It was fun.
And I want to introduce you as somebody that I kind of call you the backbone of OneAuto at this point. You know, you help keep the ball rolling. And I've always said, hey, guys, if there's an event coming up, let us know, and we could talk about it as a crew and plan it. And you're kind of the only one. Mm-hmm. And to our credit as a group, we explore those more often than not. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's, imagine how many events we'd be doing if we just had some more ideas. But,
oh, yeah.
So thank you. You know, and you're wearing the State 48 collaboration, and it's got your brand on the back. It's got, I think, Hard Parking on the back, or maybe OneAuto, or maybe both. I don't even know. Both. Yeah.
Got both.
Oh, well, so what's going on with Arizona Adventure Crew?
It slowed down like the last 2 years for us.
But you got an event coming up like next weekend, yeah?
Yeah. July 11th. This is a trip that we like to do once a year. It's always around July. It's going to be in Winslow. It's, nobody knows that there's anything to do out there besides like what everybody knows. You know, the statue in the corner and the train and all that stuff. But you know, there is a creek out there that you can go to, and you can paddle it. You can just hang out. You know, have a barbecue and just hang out by the water if you want. But it's a beautiful scenery, and it's only like a 3 mile or so paddle. It's not a river, so it's just a standing creek. And just great time. If you look it up, it's called East Clear Creek. You can camp over there too.
Where does it get fed from? It's got like, if you go to the very end, it's got like a couple waterfalls that are spilling in, and then you go to the other end. It's like, does it just die down, or?
You know what? Have
you done it before?
I don't know where it's feeding from, but be good to know. Yeah, I don't know where it's feeding from.
Right, because like Salt River, right, and then that's the really popular one here. Tubing down the Salt River, paddleboarding down the Salt River. It's not as wide as you would think for a river, but it can get stupid at times, and I would imagine the one in Winslow could be the same.
Not really. It's just standing water. The only time that can get maybe where you might hurt yourself is known for like free solo rock climbing. So a lot of as you go into the canyon, the rocks kind of go go into like a slant or whatever, where if you fall, you can fall into the water. And then cliff jumping is really popular for cliff jumping.
So there's some really deep pockets then.
Oh yeah, I mean you can do like a 100-foot cliff jump from there, you know, if you want to, or do as long as a 10-foot. No, my highest was like 83. There, it took me like 5 minutes to jump off.
Oh, from standing up there, because you have to commit, right? Otherwise, you're a pussy.
It's over. Yeah, I mean, we were coming down, and I see these guys all the way up there, and I'm like, do a gainer. And the guy's like, you do a gainer.
What's a gainer?
Gainer, you're pretty much you're jumping off, and you just, it's kind of like, instead of a back flip, it's like a front flip, but you're running, and you're just going this way. So you're...
Oh, I think I've seen those before.
Yeah, you just kind of like, boom.
So it's not just jumping.
It's not just jumping. You're doing like a full front flip. But
I've seen people do stuff like that when we go to the rivers sometimes in streams, or sometimes when you go to the lake, right? Like Lake Pleasant, they have the area where people can just jump off of it. Mm-hmm. And I'll get up there, and just so you know, I don't do that shit, right? But once every blue moon, I'll crawl up once every blue moon, and I'll be on like the one that's only like 10 feet. But it doesn't look like shit until you're up there.
Yeah.
And then when you're looking down,
it looks like 30 feet.
You have to hype yourself into it. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, come on, just do it. And I think I've gotten better in my old age of just, if I go up there, chances are I'm not going to go up there. But
because you already know.
Yeah, because I already know.
You don't want to be that guy.
If I go up there, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. That was for me, man. Like after those guys, so yeah, he jumps down, and then I'm like going down, and then he's like, you want to come up? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So I go up, and I'm climbing up, and then yeah, man, we get up there, and I was like, this is high. I was like, and then I'm like with them, I'm the one that was kind of like pressing it, do a gainer, like I would do it, so I didn't want to look like no pussy or anything, sorry. But yeah, got up there, and I'd probably say like it was like a good 3-4 minutes. That seems like it's not long, but it's a long time when you're up there, so I finally just did it. I was just like, oh, sit. Fuck the world.
Everybody's looking at you too.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. And where they were jumping off, yeah, there's
turn
people
around,
there.
there's a line of people just staring at you. Like when we were in Puerto Rico a few years ago, we did one of those things. You did the tour. You go through the jungle, and you have to wear the little hard hats and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then part of it was going across the river and going up. At kind of the end of it. And we all went up, the whole family. Yvette was right with me, and I was thinking to myself, God, I'm not really a daredevil. I know for a fact my wife isn't. This is crazy. She's actually doing it. This is okay.
Yeah.
And she was in front of me, and it's the same deal. You get up there, and I think it was maybe 15 feet.
Yeah.
Which does, again, that
like
doesn't
nothing.
seem like nothing. But when you're up there, it seems like something. 15, maybe it's 20. Still, but it wasn't. It was like the middle one.
Yeah.
Because there was one that's way up there, right?
I'm not doing that one.
And then, by the way, across the creek, there was other people jumping off that were obviously like they lived there because they were just flying across doing just crazy Olympic shit. Like the 2 or 3 dudes. And then there was even these little kids, like probably 7 or 8 years old, that were going to the top one of where we were at.
And they're just doing it like nothing.
Over and over and over, just flying off doing their stuff. So we're on the middle one, 15, 20 feet. And we do the countdown, and I was like, there's no way my wife is about to do this. This is crazy. And she's like, I'm doing it. 3, 2, 1. And she goes to jump, and she just locks up. She's like, I'm like someone hit her with a taser.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She didn't fall off, but
still.
then she ended up going down to like the little 5-foot one.
It's dangerous when you do that, too.
Yeah, even the 5-foot one, she had to kind of hype herself to jump in, but not really throwing smoke at her. I just thought that was funny as hell. But I was like, okay, I can't be like that. I got to just do it.
Yeah.
So that's when I got up and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
And then you did it. Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to do it again? I go, no.
I'm good.
I did my one time, I beat her out on that.
I can say that I did it.
But no, you guys are always doing stuff because don't you have something coming up in October or September?
Yeah, it's October. We, a trip that we do once a year too is we go down to Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah.
Yep. So we do that trip.
By the way, we're not going. Just Just let you know.
No.
Thanks for the invite, though.
No. No, that trip is a cool experience. That one's just like if you ever been to Horseshoe Bend and you've seen it from the top, it's a whole different experience when you're down there, doing it.
And that's the famous for people watching or listening who aren't local or don't really travel. That's probably the most famous, if not one of the 3 most famous photos of the Grand Canyon. Mm-hmm. Would you say?
Yeah. It's one of the most famous places. I think they're even talking about building some kind of resort in the area, and there's like a controversy about that,
What's the controversy? Like when and I just went through it for the first time on our road trip to NS Expo last year. And I go, oh shit, this is Page. This is where Horseshoe Bend is. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you pass it on the left and you're going through town and it's like Hotel Row. All these different like Hilton Garden Inn and Courtyard or whatever, but nothing, no skyscraper stuff. Maybe is that the controversy? Do you know?
They're have to not quote for quote or or whatever, but they if I'm not mistaken, they're like trying to build a resort like and right there where you enter to go into the park to go see Horseshoe Bend, like in that area right there.
Oh,
yeah. So they look at it more like should you just leave it? Shouldn't be. You build a resort here is going to be pretty much a shit show in a sense.
Yeah, I had no idea. Obviously, I knew what Horseshoe Bend was, but I was actually surprised myself when we were driving past it, and I looked to the left. I go, "Oh, it looks like an entrance to an amusement park."
Yeah.
It's got this security gate or whatever, and this giant parking lot on the other side, so you can't even really see it from the road.
No,
it's like way over there. I was like, "Oh,
wow, like a mile."
Yep.
That, and boom, you're there.
Yeah, I just assumed it was kind of like, Tonto Bridge that we have here where you pull in and there's a little ranger station.
Sure. Yeah, no.
You pay your $8 and you go in there and look around and leave. But it's this whole big thing. And that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's talks about it. I don't know the latest on it, but I know they've talked about doing that before and stuff.
So since this is a holiday weekend coming up, and I also want to talk about what you do for work now because I find that fascinating, very fascinating. And it has a lot of, I think, kind of fun perks, especially for friends like me, right? But, what does your 4th of July weekend look like, maybe historically growing up with the family? I know the family's different. You can get into the family if you'd like. It's encouraged, but you don't have to. So let me ask you about that first, and then kind of what does it mean to you?
Sure.
Because I've talked about things before where it's intended to be this one thing, but over time it's kind of become this other thing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. But I think we've all kind of internalized what it means to us.
Sure.
And so, what does all that mean to you? I guess that's a lot, but you have time.
Yeah. Well, 4th of July for us, at least for like Monique and the kids, is just us, like everybody else, trying to see the fireworks if we can. But sometimes that can be a little crazy depending where you're going, when it comes to like cars and you're dealing with traffic and you're like, should I just watch it at my house, But but with the work that I do, it's just 4th of July, I pretty much work it. I've worked it. So I don't really get to enjoy it like on a personal spending time with family type, 4th of July for me. It's mostly like attending to attendees that are going to a 4th of July event. That's more of what it looks like for me. But 4th of July, what it means to me, man, is like I came from Colombia, as so I came back in 1992. So like I feel really blessed to be American, non-American, I guess, in a sense.
And what does that mean?
I'm not a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
I'm a permanent resident of the U.S. But my dad worked his butt off to have us here, to bring us here, and I just wouldn't have the life that I have now if it wasn't for that opportunity and us coming to America. So 4th of July is a big a big thing for me when I think of it that way.
Do you guys remember ever doing anything like as a family or just with friends, like in life before Monique?
Yeah, just like my dad, just hanging out with the family. We're a big Colombian family, so usually get together and have a cookout and celebrate. 4th of July. In Colombia, when I was in Colombia, though, you have the big fireworks. So
they do that there too.
Well, not for 4th of July,
right.
But there's just events, that you have that you have like those kind of fireworks. So you think like here in Arizona is the same, but it's not.
Oh, so you have the non-restricted fireworks.
Yeah,
you guys have the Disneyland fireworks.
Yeah. So when you think of 4th of July, you think you're gonna have these big old fireworks. You're able to buy and do it yourself, but it's like you came here and it's like, no, it's not like that.
You're like, what the hell is this? What is this?
Yeah, they're like little fireworks, But
well, that's cool, man. It's like I I was curious because everybody has like kind of their own different traditions and customs, you know. Like for us, I don't even remember. Like my family, it was just myself, my brother, my parents. You know, we didn't have any relatives anywhere near us. 1,200 miles is our closest relative from us, and we had family friends, and we may have done stuff with them, but it wasn't like birthday parties, holidays, like a 4th of July holiday or even the holidays, Christmas holidays. It's not like we ever went somewhere and there was like 10 kids and, you know, 4 sets of adults partying. It was just us. And
So you had like a small family.
very small. And so, I mean, I'm sure we went to go see the fireworks. I'm sure like once or twice. It's funny. One of the memories I do have is we went somewhere to watch the fireworks out in a field and my dad lost his wallet. That's a weird memory to have, right? But when I think about my dad, he had, you know, old school 1980s wallets. He had that big fucking like hamburger wallet.
Yeah.
You know, that you just couldn't close for a long time. And later on, he got one that was like the modern hamburger. You know, it's not what you see on the menu. So we go from like the menu burger to what you actually get burger. You know, and those are the sizes of my father's wallets over the years. But it's funny, I just remember him losing his wallet, and I think somebody found it, which is good. But it's like, it's a weird, you know. But even with right now with my wife, like she has a giant family, and so holidays for us, sometimes we'll have people visiting from out of town. We're at a point now where we're living here in Arizona for 10 plus years. We have tons of friends, multiple friend groups. And then we have a lot of family too, you know, my son and his girlfriend and their little girl, and my daughter and her fiance and their 3 kids. And then my brother-in-law lives 2 miles down the street with his wife and his 2 kids. Right. And so most of the time we have stuff going on here, or we go somewhere like a lake or something like that. I have no idea what we're doing this weekend. Still, next weekend we're going to Rocky Point.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yep. And, you know, we'll have people looking after all the houses and stuff. So, you know, we're not worried about anything like that. But that'll be the first time we've gone to Rocky Point. But we're going as a family with a bunch of friends, too. And so, but I say all that to say that, you know, 4th of July obviously is, you know, the country celebrating its independence. And I think for a lot of people, it's just become like the family thing. You know, and you look up and you see the flags everywhere. And you have that sense of American pride. You know, and like I love my country. It's not perfect. Having visited a few other places, there's no other place I think I'd rather live of the places that I visited, you know, than here. And a lot of people, there's been some polls that have come out. A lot of people no longer love their country. And I just, you know, it's like everything is temporary.
Yeah.
You know, anything we're going through now is temporary as long as we can keep an eye on it. You know, what's going on today wasn't the same thing that's going on for 10 years, you know, 10 years ago. What's going on 10 years, 20 years ago, what's going on today, and that's going to be the same thing that's going on tomorrow. And I'm not really calling out any specific thing. You know how I think already. But I just, it's sad to me to see so many people that live in this great country that we have. You know, even you said, you know, you thank your father for helping to provide, and you love growing up here. I think people just have no idea what it's really like at other places. And you're not celebrating the president or the former president or the next president. You're celebrating life, family, and this great country that we have right now.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind, you know, people with that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like people get into like the whole political stuff and hate America now, blah, blah, blah. And like my mindset's always been like, as long as you have like your family and your friends and you're able to have like a stability when it comes to like your working and you're able to have everybody in your niche be good, everything else is just extra, you know. It's just like there's nothing you can do to change it. So why like dwell on it or ruin your day because of it?
People will get mad at you for saying that because it's like, you know what? Shame on you, Edgar. You can change it. Get out there and vote.
Yeah. I can't vote right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but
well, that's all you can really do. Be a good citizen, right? Don't do stupid shit. Pay attention to what's going on. And if you don't like it, pay attention to the other options and vote. And then it is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can control.
Just be good to people.
Be good to people. Right.
Be good to people. Treat people with kindness and respect, and that can go a long way. You can sometimes, when you don't think about the political stuff and you can't have that mindset, you can have a better day, or not have like your life is never going well, so.
Yeah, I think, in the last episode with Dwayne, we were talking about aliens and stuff. Do you have any opinions on extraterrestrials? Like extraterrestrials, not undocumented people.
Yeah,
extraterrestrials.
I think they're out there for sure. I mean, we're not the only ones out here.
Why do you think it's for sure?
For sure.
This is such a fun subject.
Yeah,
it's weird that people get like triggered by it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like when you how do the animals in the ocean and everything on that we don't see, like those are in a sense look like aliens,
They kind of do. Especially the deeper you go, the crazier they look.
Yeah. I mean, there's more than us out there. Do I want to find out? No.
Right. But what if you did find out?
Remember,
what would that mean? What would that mean to you?
I mean, they would be confirmed. But like when you think of like Independence Day, when that movie came out, that movie was. I think that's like kind of like you think of like if something were to happen, that's the first thing that I think of. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
The doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and it's funny you say that, but other than
great
confirmation,
movie,
I never saw the second one, the remake or whatever from like a few years
first
ago.
One, you gotta watch the first.
Oh, 100%. I might watch it again. I remember, Vivica Fox, obviously I watch movies because of her back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like you said, it's confirmation, that's it.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do?
Yeah. Nothing we can do. I don't think there's nothing anybody can do.
Yeah. Still got to go to work.
Yeah.
Still got bills.
Yeah.
Still got dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Still got a wife.
Yep.
Unless they abduct Monique, then we got problems.
Oh, yeah. They got problems.
No. That's funny.
They'll take her and we took the wrong one. Let's get
return her.
Return her.
Babe, what happened?
What? There's a bad batch. Let's get the next one.
That's funny, dude. So yeah, it's just I love my country. It's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I love July 4th. I love celebrating with family and friends. And, sure, it's our country's independence. We're celebrating that. But I think most people that celebrate it at this point are really just celebrating everything we've talked about.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be about at the end of the day. Because without that, what do you have? And some people have nothing, right? But without family and friends, in your life, like, what do you have?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have anything except yourself. If you don't have family, friends, like that support when you need it and stuff, you kind of, you want to make sure you keep those people close, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
How's work going?
Good.
Tell people what you do, because I've always been kind of fascinated with it, and since you started doing that as your main, right? Because I think you'd moonlight, I think you UPS and some other stuff, but you've always kind of had this, at least the past few years.
Yeah.
Right. So tell us what it is that you do full time.
Been doing it like full time, I think like 3-4 years now. I'm going in my 4th year, but it's funny when people ask me like, what do you do? Because if it's somebody that's around me, they see what I'm posting, they're me at a car event or doing something. So it's always hard for me to explain people what I do. So I always say I do marketing for various brands. Right.
You're a for-hire marketing contractor. Or are you full-time now with the firm?
Full-time, still independent contractor, but
okay, kind of like what I do. I'm a full-time contractor.
Yeah, Monique and I pay for our own benefits and stuff. I don't have but yeah, just do marketing in the automotive industry and then also non-automotive side of it, and that's what allows me to go to different venues, events.
But what does that mean? So what do you do? So for right now, what are you doing?
So right now I'm on a 6-month contract with State Farm. We do lead generation, and with that we execute events at we go like Diamondbacks games. So
you're the people posted up, right? So is there like when you're walking down from gate to gate, are you guys like one of those things that are set up on the sides?
Yeah, set up like we have like a full tent set up with cabinets and premiums where we give away hats and clear bags, and people get to come to us and give us your information for us to give you a quote, and then in return we give you a cool custom hat or
who wouldn't want
bag.
a State Farm hat?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so
sounds really cool.
But yeah, we get to go to these events and have to pay to go be inside of them. So
it's cool.
It's cool,
work,
but not. We try to still work, yeah.
Right, some fun, because even at Barrett Jackson, you know, and you always seem to be working Barrett Jackson.
Yeah, be like my 7th year doing it next year, I think now.
But Barrett Jackson isn't, you know, State Farm, right? So
No.
I've seen you there as what
For Dodge and Ram. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that one is like that one, people, the same thing. You know, it's cool. You get to go to Barrett Jackson, you know, you can see all these cool stuff, but it's like there's work that comes with it, you know, and that's like production, you know. So you're like, I worked 2 days before I was actually open and set up the whole event, set up trailers and stuff.
You're like a pro at this point of setting up and tearing shit down. Like, I love it when you're at one less. I'm like, yes, Edgar's here. We can have this tent up and down in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things why I've been able to do the work that I do is because I don't just do, there's different positions to this industry, which you can be a brand ambassador, which you're just in front of a tent promoting the, you know, could be hard parking pass, sitting out there, and I'm just trying to get lead generation or whatever the case may be. But then somebody like you that comes in, actually, you're setting up your tent, you're setting up everything. So it's production position, you know. So because of that, I've been able to get all these jobs, because they're not always just looking for a brand ambassador. They're looking for a production assistant or a production person or a full or a production specialist, which those are cool jobs because all you do is talk about cars with people. So yeah, I get to go to these auto shows and people have a question about a Chevrolet Corvette, and I'm just there to answer those questions, you know.
Right, because at the auto show you were doing GM.
We were doing a Cadillac. Cadillac.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but you're outside, right? So people are signing up and going on test drives and whatnot.
Going on test drives with all the EVs that they have on the line and stuff.
What's been your most fun? Because I know you've done quite a few different things. Mm-hmm. Were you doing something like? Didn't you have some gig where you're like sticking tobacco patches on people's necks or something?
That would be funny if we did that. No, I was doing a nicotine pouch thing at Circle K's, but I wouldn't say that one was fun. I'd probably say the ones that I've been doing recently was for Ferrari. I'd probably say that one.
Oh yeah, tell us about that when you were at Coda, right?
Yeah, we were in Circuit of the Americas. Mm-hmm. Yep, and then that one in Florida. Forgot what
Sebring.
Sebring, yeah, Sebring, yeah, Sebring.
That's where NS Expo's track is this year, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, for Ferrari, that was pretty cool because we are in a sense, we are the host of the Ferrari Challenge. Mm-hmm. So our trailer is the office for the people that are high up there. If you want to say the president of the Ferrari Challenge and all the higher ups, yeah, they hire us to do everything. So it's a lot of work for the people that are, you know, not for me, but it's kind of cool to, you know, when they see us, they know like, hey, those are the people that are in charge of everything. You know,
right, because you were going live or sending videos to the OneAuto page, which, by the way, thanks, like I said, to bring this full circle. So if people watch that page enough, chances are if there's a post on the story, it might be you somewhere doing your job because it's all car related. Mm-hmm. And so you were on the track with all these multi-million-dollar Ferraris, kind of walking in between them, mm-hmm. and that type of coverage and that access is. Are you ever like, man, I can't believe today I got to do this?
The first time I did it, yeah, I was like, they're gonna let me drive this $700,000 vehicle. Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah, driving some of their GT cars and that was my first time driving one of those. You know, you see all these buttons and all these stuff. You know, like somebody help me turn this thing on.
Is that the most intimidating?
Yeah.
You know, do you ever just get in there and you're just like, shit, I don't want to fuck this up?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes they're like, when you need to grab a car, it's like, they don't even want you to be there for like a minute. Like turn the car on, boom, get it out of this garage.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
like, let's
especially
go,
when
let's
you're
go,
inside
let's
like
go.
Circuit of the Americas. You know, we have all these cars in one of their garages that are like on the opposite side of the track, and they need to be somewhere at a certain time, and this and that. You're running behind, so.
You were working the NASCAR event a few years ago too. Toyota.
Toyota, and then for the actual NASCAR experience too. So I've done like 2 different brands there, but the main one was the experience. That one was where we were like the caution crew. We got to go around and give fans NASCAR gear and had like a side by side with Rockford Fosgate speakers and blasting music at like 8:00 in the morning at the campsite, telling people to wake up, it's NASCAR, you know.
That's funny,
That
dude.
one was fun. Yeah. That one was fun too.
Are you working with Hot Wheels again this year?
No,
Not
I
this year?
haven't done Hot Wheels like in a year
Couple
and
years,
a half,
right?
a couple of years now. Yeah.
Yeah, so he used to do, or you, I say he, but you used to do the Hot Wheels Legends tour too. And weren't you kind of, I wouldn't say running or handling that, but you know, they kind of asked you to do a lot because of everything you were saying earlier. You don't just show up and stand there, like you break down tents and
Yeah.
do the full setup.
Yeah, those events are cool. The sad thing about the Hot Wheels Legends tour is that they used to have like 16 to 22 cities that we used to go visit before COVID, and then COVID happened. And those have like just dwindled down to like 10 to 12 cities. And when you do those events, you get paid per city that you're going to. So,
Do you think, and you don't speak on behalf of Hot Wheels or Walmart, but were they always at Walmart's?
yeah.
Do you think maybe that was just an excuse to stop doing them? Because you do them at Walmart's, right? But it's set up outside in the parking lot. And at least the one that I went to down the street, you know, they have a whole thing they do inside too, where you have, it's just funny, but you have a bunch of grown men basically box diving for their favorite Hot Wheels.
Yep.
And, you know, telling the kids to hold their shit. But it's not like, they're like, hey, little Johnny, pick out your favorite car. It's like, Johnny, we're looking for this car, and this car. You know, you have 2 seconds to find it. But other than that, it's outside and kind of away from people. So do you think, in your opinion only, do you think that COVID was just a reason for them to just stop doing it?
No, because they did do it after COVID. Once
But you went from like
everything started
20
rolling.
something cities to like 12.
It could be, yeah. Not sure. I think that's partially why that probably went down in numbers, like CD wise, but could be budget, could be different things.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And then could be Walmart too. Could have been them to say we don't, you know, because they have to be in it with us too. So could be they just don't want to do it as many as Walmart's as they did it before. Who knows?
So I've tried to send a couple people your way. What is it that people need to do if they're interested in doing what you do? Right? Like what should they do? And especially if they're in this area, should they reach out to you? Can you hook them up with somebody, or not really hook them up, but make an introduction? Or do you just want people just figuring it out on their own? But, you know, what's involved in doing what you do? Because it is work, you know, but it sounds fun, but there's other stuff I think people have to know if they want to do that.
Yeah. For most people that want to know about what I do, they don't have to come straight to me, because you can find this stuff on Facebook, or there's various apps that are kind of like LinkedIn, but it's for like what we do in our industry.
What would they look for? Like, how did you get into it?
Well, I before COVID, I lost my job, and then I was on unemployment for a little bit, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna start looking, you know, what's out there, and then I actually found this gig, call them gigs on Craigslist. When Craigslist, well, you know, I think it's still around.
It's
but
still
it's not
around.
like, yeah, but it's not like how people were using it before.
Yeah.
But I found a post and it said like $20, and at that time, like $20 was pretty decent, you know. So it was like $20 to do food sampling.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I can. And it was like I'm on a weekend, you know.
And what
so,
does that mean? To stand there handing out samples of food?
Yeah, just sending out samples of food. Yeah, so I applied for it, got the job, and turned out to be just going to Walmart's and doing food sampling. And at that time, that program was focused on the Hispanic community. So Yeah, did that, and then like that lasted like a week, and then I just started kind of like networking with the people managing it, and just kind of saying like, hey, how do you guys get into what you're doing and this and that, and end up finding out that they were actually in Arizona from Florida running this program.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were here, and those programs were running like a month and a half to 2 months. And long story short, that we're actually looking for somebody to run this program for us.
You don't say.
Yeah. So then, long story short, applied this and that, and then like 2 weeks later, I got the job to run the program. So then they got to go back to Florida, and then I took over as the manager.
We found some local sucker who's going to run this program.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and at that time, the pay was pretty decent still. So I was like, oh, man, you can make decent money doing this. So then, just started doing that on the side while I worked at UPS, and then finally made the move 3 years ago to do it full time, because I was once you work for an agency and you do good work, then they're emailing you, hey, are you available on these dates and stuff. So
what would you say it takes to do it?
Just hard work, just attention to detail. And in our job, we just you got to be talking to a lot of people, so you definitely can't be like an introvert doing the job that we do. It's not gonna work to your benefit. And then just good work ethic, really, to be honest.
What about your schedule though, right? Because aren't jobs spotty at times, especially when you're starting off?
Well, we're open and work on the weekends. Most events, most people that are hiring they want people to work on the weekends. So
that's when most events are.
Yeah, most events are. But the apps are out there. There's one called Trusted Herd. That's what the main
Trust and Herd.
Trusted Herd.
Trusted Herd.
Yeah,
like a trusted herd of cattle.
Like Trusted HERD.
Oh, yeah, trusted herd. Like, listen, that's weird.
That's what the website's called. But you create a profile, and then there's all kinds of gigs there. You can MC gigs, bartending gigs.
That's cool.
Brand ambassading, product specialist.
Shit, maybe I'll sign up for that. I can always use another gig.
Production assistant. I mean, you click them all if you know how to do all of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I've sent one or two people your way before, and I don't know. I mean, we make the connection, but it's like, guys, you have the personality, you have the time. Edgar can help you find the way, and probably nothing is my guess. Have you ever heard from anybody, or have you connected them and then that's it?
Yeah, I haven't heard from anybody. I think sometimes people they're just like when you just don't know, I think that's what stops people. When we talk about what we do, they're like, oh, it sounds like fun, but it doesn't sound like it's a corporate job either.
They want the easy money. They want
money.
Okay, I'm going to work every day from this time to this time, so I have a set schedule.
Yeah.
Versus I have no idea when they're going to give me the call, and I may not be able to do it. You have to have the flexibility, ultimate flexibility.
Yeah. I mean, what I tell people, if you have a regular full-time job, which that's what I had, a regular job, is you just do it when you can on the weekends. If you don't have kids, you don't have family, it's pretty easy. If you have a family with kids, then obviously it's communication that you have with your other half, because you're probably going to be at an event. Somebody's going to have to watch the kids, but that's how you're really going to start out, just really opening up your schedule and wanting to hustle and make some extra money, and not be too I want to hang out with my friends this weekend. I've worked hard all week. Just all depends on their mentality that they have when it comes to hustling and making some extra money.
And at this point, I mean, with the spousal income as well, but you make enough money to make a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. I mean, you always got a new car.
Yeah, almost a new car. It seems like every year, but.
And I always make fun of you. So you have so let's talk about your cars right now. So you have what color is the blue? What's the technical term of
like Zandorf blue or something like that?
The M2?
Yeah.
When did you guys get that and why? And you've had it for longer than usual, so you must love the car.
Yeah. We've had it for November, it'll be 2 years that we've had it. Before that, we had that M240iX drive, 24. We've always talked about getting a real M car. Just that has been one of Monique's dreams to have a BMW, but another one is to have an actual M car. So I think when we got that X drive, it was kind of like she was happy with it, but in the back of her mind, she's like, I still want an M, So we'd have conversations, and we would say, like, if we're gonna get one, now would be the time, because they're not gonna make manuals anymore, and we're hearing stories about that it's gonna be last. So luckily, not luckily enough, Monique hit something on the freeway and damaged the bumper, so it was gonna cost us like $1,500 to get it fixed at BMW. So when she went over there, they were like, well, we have an M2 here, and FaceTime calls me and says, look what we got. I wasn't even there for the
That's
purchase.
funny.
Yeah.
Where do you get a spouse like that? No, I love my wife. Just kidding, But mine's like, hey, we're going to the lake next week. I'm like, we are?
Yeah. Mine's like, hey, I just got us a car.
Dude, they're so funny. Sidebar, and I think I've told you this. I'm gonna tell people this about. So again, full circle. We did one of our OneAuto cruises like this last weekend, Sunday morning. It's been on the calendar for a month. We've been talking about it for several months. So it might have been on the calendar for 45 days. The flyer's been up for 2.5, 3 weeks, right? So we're at Lake Pleasant, and you probably have to deal with this on your level on some, right? We're at Lake Pleasant doing our annual boat trip with some of our other friends. Hey, we should go to the lake next Sunday. You got anything going on? Whip up on the phone. I go, yeah, I have a OneAuto cruise. Oh. I said, yeah, it's a OneAuto cruise. Oh. Well, maybe after that. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But I have the OneAuto cruise. So she proceeds to plan out the entire lake day the following week and then gets mad if I can't commit to what time I'm going to come home.
Yeah.
I'm like, this has been on my calendar for a long time. You just decided last week that we're doing this as a family. Like, I'll get home when I get home. I got home at 8:30, and we still ended up getting there till like noon.
Yeah.
Because we're waiting on everybody else.
Yeah,
right?
that always happens.
Yeah, and it's so funny that it's like no matter what you have on your schedule, or no matter what you're thinking, it's like, this is what I'm doing. Are you going with me or not?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, honey, I just bought a new car. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember it was in November when she did it, but I was working for BioFreeze, the USA pickleball tournament here at the 24, that big
horse, that giant thing.
Somewhere over there, yeah. But yeah, that's where I was at, because I remember the FaceTime call and everything. I was like, okay, dope. Yeah, and then we just rarely drive it, We just trying to keep low mileage on it, but
you drove something different over here today.
Yeah, EV iX 4. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
We love it. It's nice. We've had EVs
Can we take that to lunch?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. No, tell us about
like people have asked me like what I think about the EVs. We've had an EV before this one. But it's still crazy to people when you tell me you have an EV, because they, it's still like, it's like they don't want to get used to it. That's kind of like the vibes that I'm getting from them. Like, I'll never do an EV, gas power vehicle.
So, that's angry, right?
Yeah.
Sound pretty angry there.
Yeah. And I started thinking like, oh, am I really going to want to spend 30 minutes charging somewhere and holding up time if I'm traveling somewhere? And all that's like out the window now. Now that I've actually experienced it, like, it's just so nice to get up in the morning and have a full field car in a sense, and went from spending probably $80 twice to 3 times a week, so it could be $160 to maybe $240 a week that I was spending on our Pathfinder, where now we're spending maybe like $90 a month. When I charge that car, it could be $5, could be $12, charging out of my
And how long have you had that now?
I think like 6 months now, because we got a lease. We got into a lease, but yeah, like 6 months now I think we've had it.
So you've been able to kind of track to see what type of electricity it actually really consumes when you're charging.
Yeah.
And so far, you haven't really noticed too much of a negative hit, and it would offset what you would have been paying in gas, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, if we can go with the low number, $160 a week, time whatever, over $500 a month, and you're only spending $100, you're pocketing $400 a month. Put that into a year, so that it's a lot of savings in my opinion. Yeah.
And I think a lease is probably the best way to go on some shit like this, man.
Yeah, I mean,
On an EV.
a couple of reasons. Yeah, EV, Monique has her own LLC, so for business is beneficial for us to get one for the write-off part of it and stuff.
We almost ran out of gas this last weekend too, by the way. Because we drove the MDX, so that's you thinking about not having to worry about that. Just reminding me, you wake up in the morning with a fuel charge, a full charge. Mm-hmm. So we drive, the MDX, and those MDXs are like they're kind of gas guzzlers. They're not very efficient, for a luxury SUV. We get to the lake, and it says we have 48 miles left, which is fine. Bartlett, easy.
Yeah,
right. You're out. The nearest gas station is 12 miles away. 12 to 14 miles away, in Carefree, Cave Creek.
Yeah, Cave Creek.
But, so we're turning the car on because we have the 12-volt things, to air up the paddle boards and all this shit.
Oh, so it took it.
And I'm watching every time because you have to turn the car on. You turn the car on and you activate the sockets. And at one point, we had two of them because there's 12-volt behind the driver and passenger seat in the front. And there's one in the back of the SUV, right?
You're sitting out that car.
So we had two things running. The air conditioner's still blowing on full blast with the lift gate open and half the doors are open. And I'm watching it go from like 48 to 44 to 39. This was over the course of, because of course we get to air up almost everybody's shit, right? Almost. And of course we bring every floaty imaginable on Earth instead of just what we need. That's just how we roll. And so I'm watching it and I'm like, hey guys, can you remember to turn the car off when you're done? And even one time I got in the water and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to turn the car off. So I had to get out of the water and go up there and turn the car off. But I'm watching. By the time we left, we were at SB Cove out there. By the time we rolled off, it said we had 12 miles.
Oh, dang.
To empty.
And you're driving up a little bit.
Yeah, and I mentioned it to my wife, Yvette, and she's like, why would you go somewhere without gassing up? No. I'm like, oh, God. It's just because we were in such a rush. I had to get back from our cruise in the morning because we are going to be so late.
Yeah.
And then I finally told her, I go, look, it's because of this. She's like, okay. But as we're leaving, we're going up Cave Creek Road, after we've got off of Bartlett, the dam road, and as we get close to Pima, it hits 0.
Ooh.
And I know cars have extra typically, but I've never really tested the car. Like in the NSX, if you hit 0, I told a story about it before. It's scary as fuck.
Oh yeah, it's like it's over.
Yeah, I kick it into EV mode, and I can roll an EV up to like 20 miles an hour before the motor kicks on and recharges it, right?
Yeah.
So then you're still using juice.
Yeah.
But in the MDX this last time, I think I'd rolled 3.5 miles with 0 miles remaining.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody, but I was driving like, fuck. I think there's more in here, but yeah, that's some. But so you telling me about the BMW that just kind of reminded me of that. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, Monique and I took a trip to
and
Vegas.
by the way, I told my son, he goes, why don't you just put it in accessory mode? I go, oh yeah. Forgot about that. You know how a lot of cars throw in accessory mode? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
But we did a trip to Vegas, and we just stopped at a place where we knew we wanted to stretch our legs, grab something to eat, and it was like, boom, 20, 25 minutes. And
not bad.
Boom, left. Made it to Vegas.
You're more brave than me. I've said a million times on this show, I wouldn't mind an EV. I'm fascinated with some of them. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I would have the gumption to drive an EV on a mini road trip because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing before we even had one, but now it's just like, yeah, if you just plan it out right. Most of the EVs now have the option to like when in your route, you can program it to put you at an EV station in your route so that you don't run out. So
like you would with traditional gas station.
Yeah. So that technology nowadays with these cars that you shouldn't run out of juice unless you like weren't paying attention. So
now, do you have to pay extra to find the good stations? I know that there was a tiered option, at least with the Teslas back in the day, where you can have the regular stations. And if you paid extra, it would show you like the super stations. That's not necessarily the terminology, but there were like 2 different levels that you would have to subscribe to if you wanted to see everywhere or just some places.
No, not Not that I know of. We just.
I wonder if it's included because you have a lease.
We just look. It tells you all the chargers and the level of kilowatts that they're pushing, but we always just go for the highest one, like 350 to 250 or higher kilowatt charging, so that you're not there as long. That's what I look for.
Have you ever come across ones where only half of them work?
Yeah. That'll happen.
That's still pretty common then, I guess.
Yeah,
that's happens. Like one of the things that they always say. If everybody were to get an EV, you'd get somewhere and only like half of the stations would work.
Yeah, you pull up to one and there's an error when you're trying to hook it up to it. It doesn't work. Or you might pull up to it and they're all full and there's 2 cars waiting for 2 to leave. So you might... Those are the ones that we don't... hope we don't run into.
But so you haven't done it yet?
No, I haven't run into one where I had to wait. Not yet. I did for Dodge though, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were paying me to charge the car, so if I had to wait, I had to wait.
Was that the EV Challenger?
Yeah, the
Charger?
Yeah, Charger, yeah.
How was that car? I think it looks kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't spend $70,000 for it, and obviously neither would anybody else, which is why they stopped making them and couldn't sell any, but...
It's fun. It's fun to drive. It's just too big, you know? It's just like... It's like when
It felt big?
Felt big, yeah. You know, it's like you're driving like a Hellcat compared to like a M2 or, you know, it's like you can tell that you feel like you're in a big tank, 2-door vehicle in a sense. So.
Well, let's go check out your car and let's go get some food. Where can people catch up to you unless you don't want them to?
Yeah, no. So if you're an outdoors person and you want to see what Arizona has to offer, we're called Arizona Adventure Group, or AAG. We have an Instagram handle. We have a Facebook group, which is the most active page that we have. We have TikTok, but we rarely post on TikTok. But we do have a TikTok, and then we have a website too. And then catch us at OneAuto Movement for our events and stuff. We post them out there. You know.
What about your car page, or do you keep changing your handle?
Yeah, I just changed it today, to be honest.
Did you really? That is... Okay, here's the deal. That is so annoying, people like you.
Yeah, I know.
Because Yoshi does the same shit every time he gets a different car. Well, actually, he hasn't done that in a while.
Yeah.
But usually he would change it. So all the historical tags are like null and void.
Yeah.
The ads. Like I was just talking about my NSX up there. It used to be NA2 NSX. That's what I went by for years. And now I just go by Jhae Pfenning now. So I don't have to change it no matter what I'm driving. You got to pick something and stick to it.
Yeah. It's
AZ Edgar.
Yeah. I just, it's funny. I just did it this morning because it was AZ_
purple, right?
Perp M240i, and then I was like, oh, should I change it? Should I not? Blah, blah. And then this morning I was, I'm just going to change it. So it's AZ_ M3 who.
Even when you had an AZ like, Perp, you don't even have the purple.
No, I know.
You've had a blue car for 2 years.
I know. That's because I never changed the name. I should have changed it a long time ago. But
all right, man. Well, thanks for coming by the studio and thanks for everything you've done. Not only as like a friend to me, but with OneAuto, because we do all the charity stuff and we do the charity cruises and that's really like one less I can't give you credit for. That's me, Mimi. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to give you credit for everything else. And so you felt this last year. I was bummed that you may have been moving and leaving.
Oh yeah.
I was like, fuck, what's gonna happen, man? I don't want to do this on my own, man. And the rest of the guys, I love them, but they don't do shit. I said, Edgar's really the only one, and everybody needs. You're like Pippin. Everybody needs a Pippin. Everyone needs an Edgar. But not the hair.
Not the Edgar that people talk about.
Not the other Edgar.
Not the bad Edgars.
Like I got a good Edgar sitting in front of me.
The good Edgar.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
I want to thank Edgar for coming in studio. We went out, took a look at his BMW. I think it's pretty cool. We went out and had some lunch afterwards. Everybody needs an Edgar in their life. But with that being said, I want to thank Right Honda and Right Toyota, Arcus Foundry Spark Forge, Auto Cannon officially licensed Honda and Acura Gear. Also want to thank my Patreon business supporters, Kuya Automotive out of Winter Garden, Florida, Automotive Specialty Tool out of Owings Mills, Maryland, Beak House Small Home Design out of Ashburn, Virginia, and Traverse City, Michigan, the Lucky Breaks Sports Breakers out of Caledonia, Michigan, and Shaping Success Treasure Valley out of Boise, Idaho. If you'd like to be a personal sponsor of the page, you can sign up at Patreon, patreon.com/Hard Parking Podcast. for as little as $3 a month. You can sign up to also be a member on the YouTube page. I want to thank Mark Stoneman, Catherine Cox, Eddie Ramos, Richard Graves, Byron Jones, Alice Gamina, Drew Bunkley, Dre Mullins, and I also want to send a special thank you to Bo Jung for being a strong supporter of the show. Basically from the beginning, he did move on. One day he said he may be back, but major props to him. He's also one of the more active ones on the Patreon as far as commenting when I do upload stuff. So special VIP shout out to Bo Jung, and I will catch you down the road. Want to reach the show, info@hardparking.com. I promise I will do a better job at checking that email. Same thing for questions, comments, or concerns. Make sure you're following the show at Hard Parking Pod on Instagram. Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube, and I will talk to you next week.
Shut up!